folks at Ambient have fused together art and technology into a glowing orb which is one part sculpture and one part information. These great American stories are guaranteed to enlighten you on this edition of Born American. These glowing orbs are the latest techno-cool desirables for American homes. Since many of us are living in the fast lane, access to immediate, convenient information is important. Is the stock market up? Will the weather be good for surfing tomorrow? And wouldn't you like to know without having to turn on your computer or even the radio? Now, with an ambient device, you can find out with a quick look.
An ambient device is a new category of consumer electronics. And the way that ambient works is we take internet-based content like traffic congestion, weather reports, how the market is doing, and map them to a single one-dimensional spectrum, which is either angle or color. And so you can see the market is doing extraordinarily bad. The traffic is much freer flowing than you would have thought for this time of day. The golfing conditions this weekend are going to be fantastic. And that you can know very, very quickly.
These pieces of functional art make our lives easier by continuously and conveniently displaying everyday data. Just plug in the Ambient Stock Market Orb and you'll have an always-on barometer of the market. It glows green when the market is up, amber when it's unchanged, and red when stocks are down.
Ambient's real skill set is in all the engineering that happens in order to get the product to work. So we have electrical engineers that develop the microprocessor to make the product tune into the wireless network and then demodulate that signal in order to render information in color.
Ambient's weather beacon is wirelessly linked with the National Weather Service in your area and will change color as the temperature rises or falls. From blue for cool to red for hot, with color variations in between for each 10-degree change.
Ambient devices are really optimized for quick reading. We call them glanceable displays. So there are only certain types of information that your brain can really process in less than a quarter of a second.
And best of all, the information is always available from an unobtrusive piece of electronic art, and free.
This is the first time that somebody has created a long-range wireless network where there's no subscription fee. None. So you can give this device as a gift, and it won't cost anybody to track basic information channels for as long as they have it. We're very proud of that.
And the devices can be set to monitor all kinds of information by going to Ambient's website or calling an 800 number.
You will be asked to put in the serial number that's on the bottom of your device, and that will tell the system that we have which device is yours, and then you are given a menu of options of what kind of information you want, whether you want to see the Homeland Security defense color or whether you want to see what the weather is somewhere far away.
You pick the content, you pick the color spectrum, you pick the tolerances. It's really your information.
David came up with the idea for ambient devices when he was at the MIT Media Lab.
And I realized that there are certain devices, clocks, thermometers, barometers. These are instruments, and they're technology instruments, but they don't intimidate, they never have viruses, they never require software updates. So those are devices that people just love living around every day. And I really felt like there was an opportunity to take these insights that we have about how people perceive information and glance at information to get things and map all kinds of internet information onto these very simple objects.
Simple, extremely useful, and beautiful.
We're trying to create objects that you covet and want in your house, and that are actually still technology objects. They still feel like furniture almost. They feel like lamps, and they feel like clocks, and the things that we love to have in our life. And yet, they happen to have very sophisticated technology built inside of them.
The ambient devices have been a hit across America.
I think one of the reasons that the Ambient Orb and the Ambient Weather Beacon have sold so well so far in retail is because they're like a breath of fresh air. Technology feels a little bit like Times Square right now, and we're kind of like the middle of Maine. You know, it's a little bit of a break.
And can you have too many ambient devices?
I'm currently living with about 7 ambient devices in my own small Cambridge apartment, and it's not too many. There's markets in the study, there's traffic in the hall, there's weather near our closet. When you're making changing decisions, clothing decisions, it's sort of like how many pictures do you have on your wall? Many apartments have more than 10, right? And that still doesn't feel like too many. So I think ambient devices will be the same way.
So for ambient devices, the future is bright.
there will be many companies that produce ambient-type devices in 5 or 10 years, and literally thousands of variations of what you're seeing today. You'll see things that are pocketable, that are in your car, that are in your office, that are embedded into your desk, that are embedded in clothing even. So I think what you're seeing is really the tip of the iceberg of an exciting new industry.